All right, beautiful business owners. Have you ever considered, or maybe you're already planning one, an in person live event of any kind? I know I work with a lot of online business owners here, but I have really built up a lot of people that I'm working with in person here in Hampton Roads because of a lot of the in person free events I've hosted, paid events I've hosted. And it's really kind of led a lot of people to me asking questions about hosting in person events. So I figured, why not cover this on the podcast? I'm going to go over kind of three main things that you can do to rock your first or next in person event. And I also wanted to invite you guys to ask more questions for me to talk about on the podcast. We are approaching 200 episodes, so we're going to be getting loud and celebratory and excited. And I would love for you guys to start sending me in some questions of things that you would like to see on the podcast. The easiest way to do that is going to be to email me at elizabeth@elizabethhenson.co and just put the subject line podcast question. Elizabeth@elizabethhenson.co. Perhaps we'll set up a more streamlined way to submit questions eventually, but for right now, that seems easy enough. So let's dive in today and start talking about planning your next live event. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. All right, let's do this. This is episode 192. So if you want any of the details or show notes from this episode, you're going to go to elizabethhenson.co/E192. And today we are going to be talking about 3 ways to rock your next in-person event. If any questions pop up, make sure you email them to me and we will do a follow-up or another podcast episode, or any business questions are welcome. Any business questions whatsoever, I love to answer. I'm excited. I am just really excited to expand the podcast, to lean more into it, to give it an upgrade. We're going to see what happens. I'm already working on a few little things behind the scenes, but I'm just excited over the next, 8 to 10 weeks to see how that all unfolds. Okay. So if you want to host an in-person event, whether it's free, whether it's paid, it doesn't really matter. There's a few steps that you can do to make this process actually happen, because I know a lot of us dream about it and don't actually do it, and to make it run smoothly. So I'm going to go probably a little out of the recommended order, but the most important thing, if you're dreaming it up, okay, you're dreaming up this in-person event or monthly get-togethers, whatever it might be, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about, how many people are you picturing? Is it 5? Is it 50? Is it 500? There's so much contingent upon your audience size. I know for me, with my audience size, I filled the room with between 50 and 60 members 2 years in a row for my annual live event. So I personally think anywhere between 20 and 80 is a really great place to start if you're kind of going all in on this in-person event. Now for the monthly meetups, I think, if you're just getting started, anywhere between 4 and 12 is wonderful and beautiful, just to give you kind of a starting point. Now, if you already have a massive audience that is super engaged, you might want to make those numbers much bigger. I feel like I love my audience size, so I don't want to say small audience in a bad way. I feel like I have a very medium-sized audience that is engaged, and I'm very happy with it. Of course, we all want to grow, we all want to expand, but that's never my focus. My focus is never like need more followers. It's more, let me focus on helping the people that are already here, and then just trust that things will grow at the speed in which they're meant to grow. So the first thing that you're going to do, obviously, is to dream it up, to get really clear on how many people. Okay, that's like the pre-work. Now, step 1 to actually making this real, okay, is to get the space and the date. Like, this needs to be first. Before you even really get into the nitty-gritty of planning, the space and the date must be booked. This is really important because now you're going to reverse engineer all those other steps. And I don't want you getting tangled up in the details before you do that step, because it's not even real. It's not even happening until you book a space and a date. Free, paid, doesn't matter, whatever floats your boat for this event. There are plenty of places where you can host free get-togethers, events, your public library, coffee shops. Maybe you can collaborate with another local business owner. There's plenty of opportunities out there if you open yourself up and you're able to see them and welcome them in. Now, if this is like what I did with Elevate and Inspire, and this is more of like an annual event, you're going to be, going for 50 people, I would recommend probably investing. Just random advice here, like maybe stay away from hotels as your initial option. There's usually really high food minimums. You have to be a little bit more strict with the RSVPs. I know I personally really like to have that flexibility with the RSVPs so that my investment stays the same, whether it's 20 people or whether it's 80 people. As far as the space goes and all of that. Now, my investment may change, with swag bags and extras and ID badges. There's a lot of little details that will change based on the number projections. But I personally really like to just rent kind of an empty shell, not necessarily a hotel that comes with like lots of strict rules and minimums and requirements. And now I'm paying for food that we don't need, those kind of things. Just my 2 cents, go in any direction that you would like. But that step 1 is you must book the space and the date, because with that information, now we can reverse engineer everything. And yes, even before, the big vision or let's say the detailed vision, you want to have a general vision. But I just knew I wanted to host an in-person event. I didn't even really have the nitty gritty of what I was going to do or what the transformation was going to be. I just knew I was doing the event. So step 1, once you get that done, now you can reverse engineer, what your promotions are going to look like on your calendar, when those need to be, when you need to have all your marketing assets ready, and so forth. So once the space is booked, now I would recommend you set up a wait list and kind of start saying it out loud that you're doing this, okay? And this would be step 2, would be the planning and the pre-marketing. So you're doing a lot of behind the scenes, dreaming, planning, playing around with the itinerary. Do you want speakers? Do you not want speakers? Do you want sponsors? Just this kind of big vision planning And then you're going to do what I'm calling pre-marketing. You're planting seeds that this is happening. Now, I know a couple of you are like, well, how far out should I do this? I think anywhere from 3 to 6 months to be sure that the space is absolutely booked. You can go as far out as a year. I think for us, the sweet spot is booking the space around 6 months, and then pre-marketing a little bit with the wait list, and then actual marketing, you really go about the 3-month mark. But if you have a lot of people that are going to be traveling, the sooner the better. There's no hard rules here, and I am not an event planner. I'm just a business owner that happens to host an annual event and monthly gatherings. So don't take any of my advice as event planning advice. This is just what worked for me as a business owner. I personally don't, put a lot of effort into florals and decor and things like that, because when I'm attending events and I'm paying for it, I don't want to feel like I'm paying for flowers and decor. I want to feel like I'm investing in the transformation and the takeaways that I'm walking away with. So just something to keep in mind. If you want yours to be beautiful and aesthetic, I 100% respect that, but just know that those are all going to be costs that are going to fall on you that are then going to have to be built into the ticket cost. Okay. So that step 2 is really in the big picture planning. You want to project manage this thing. So set dates for yourself that give you time to execute on all the steps. So 3 months out, are you doing an early bird ticket sale? Build that into your marketing calendar. Have your wait list set up as soon as you get the space booked, so that you can put that wait list everywhere in your content. And that way, as soon as you're ready to do that early bird promotion, you have a list of people who are already interested in your event. So that big picture planning, setting dates, reverse engineering, getting your wait list set up, all the pre-marketing stuff is step 2. Okay. I'm doing this from a very top of the mountain view because I want you to see the possibility and make it your own rather than like all the nitty gritty steps of putting on the event. Okay. So just be sure that it is a space that really supports your vibe. You want to make sure that you are clearly setting up and managing those expectations. That brings us into step 3, which is like, now we are into the nitty gritty of the marketing and we'll call it client experience, attendee experience, whatever you want to call it. And that's where you want to make sure you're really starting to set up clear communication and systems when people register. Are you enrolling them in the vision, getting them excited about the mission, and properly communicating how they can prepare to get the best out of it? So this is all about client experience, managing expectations, and now you're executing on all the nitty-gritty details. So step 2 is kind of that big picture project management, where you're putting into your calendar everything that you want to get done for the event with timely, amount of time to get it done. And then step 3 is like you're actually doing it and you're setting up these processes so that people can have the best experience possible. And you're going to be executing on your actual marketing. So now we've already built the wait list. You've already got your marketing plan set up for early bird for all your promotions leading up to the event. If you have to have a hard stop on promotions, when that is, if you decided to seek out sponsors, making sure that that is all built into your workflows, and really just creating the buzz before, during, and after the event, using your, social media, behind the scenes, collecting reviews, turning those attendees into your marketing system, your promoters, and really being able to follow up with people, making sure you have a system in place to follow up the week after and make sure they have everything they need and to continue to build on those new relationships. So if I had to break that down into those 3 steps, the first and most important one is to book the space with the date, and set up your wait list. Okay. Once you have the date and the place, you can really build the foundation of people that want to come to this, and you can take your time so that you don't have to be, 2 months out from the event and say, oh shoot, we've got to sell this many tickets. You're really starting that process as far as in advance as you book the space. Like the same day you can share behind the scenes of like, oh my gosh, something really cool is happening. I booked a space. Let me know if you want to be on the wait list. Like just jump right in. And then step 2, now you're doing all of the big vision stuff, the mission, you're coming up with a name, you're writing all the messaging, you're getting your social media posts ready and making decisions. This is a big making decision phase. This is the logistics. Who do you need to hire? What kind of team members do you need, if any? This could just be your monthly meetup. It doesn't have to be the super big fancy. Making sure that the space that you did book really supports your mission, getting those pre-marketing things set up, and really project managing. Okay. And then step 3 is the actual executing of this project management that you did and really executing on the marketing, using that wait list, and then, of course, building your systems to make sure that you're welcoming and onboarding people who are interested in your event. So I know that sounds like a lot and I really oversimplified it, but you guys are capable of so much more than you think. And honestly, once you book the space and have a date and you start building that wait list, you're going to have this momentum that is really going to fuel the fire for you to be excited to do all the logistical things. Most people do the reverse and they think they have to have everything planned before they book the space, which causes this procrastination to happen because they're like, oh, well, I haven't decided if I want to do sponsors or not, or I haven't decided what I want the theme to be or what I want to name it. And because they're dragging their feet on a lot of these decisions, they're actually not booking the space. So if you really want this to happen, I encourage you to book the space first and foremost, and then reverse engineer everything else. I did not name Elevate and Inspire until I sat down to do my very first marketing campaign and build the sales page. I already had the space booked. I already had a wait list of 14, or so people. I was already, talking about it on social media. It just didn't have a name. And that's okay. By the time I put the marketing materials together, it needed a name. And I sat down and came up with the name the same day that I built the sales page. And that's okay. That is how we get things done and make quick and efficient decisions. I could have procrastinated on the name for months if I allowed myself to do that. But I sat down, I used ChatGPT to help me. I casted the vision. It gave me like 20 name recommendations, and it was so quick and easy. And I know I've said this so many times, but the most successful, not just business owners, but human beings have really mastered the ability to make quick decisions, to make quick and efficient decisions. Okay. So that's why this booking of the space is so important, because it's not going to delay time. You've done it, you've made the commitment, and now you can reverse engineer everything else, and it will happen. It will happen. And don't forget to detach from the outcome. This is a big experiment. I knew with Elevate and Inspire, I was willing to take a financial risk, even if it meant I was only going to help a few people. I was willing to learn the lessons that I needed to learn to make this happen, because it almost became so much about overcoming the fear and just really being laser focused on helping people. I wasn't really worried about the monetization of it. I wasn't worried about selling anything. I just wanted to put on the best event I possibly could, give people the best experience I possibly could, and show myself that I could do it. And that's what it's about. When you do it for the second time, now you can really start auditing everything. And, I know there's probably questions too about monetization. I would say it's going to be one of two things. If your goal is to monetize the get together itself, you're going to want to charge a higher ticket experience. Okay. If your goal is to sell at the event, to sell them into another experience. You can have a lower ticket or even free. I host my free meetups every month. I love doing it. It allows me to meet new business owners that I probably wouldn't meet otherwise. It allows me to feel like I'm really helping people. There's nothing else I'd rather do with one Friday a month. I used to sit in this place of like, don't ever do anything for free. And I'm like, no, this is reciprocity. The energy exchange always comes back to me. It's one of my favorite things to do. So don't worry so much about that. Just stay really clear in your vision, make quick, efficient decisions, keep it lean where you can, and really focus on giving people the best experience possible. And you will see that energetic law of reciprocity work in your favor. Okay, there you have it. Don't forget, I would love to hear from you guys. Please email me, elizabeth@elizabethhenson.co, and just title it podcast questions or whatever. And I would love to hear questions that you'd like for me to talk about on the podcast. Send me a little note. I love hearing from you guys. You can also do it on Instagram. I'm at elizabeth.henson. That would be totally fine until we streamline this process a little bit. This is episode 192. And if you are interested in working with me, I would love for you to sign up for our priority list for Elevate, elizabethhenson.co/elevate. It is my signature program. It is my favorite thing in the world. These are some incredible human beings, and we just have some really exciting things to come in this second half of 2025. So thank you so much for being here. If you loved this episode or you have a friend that's planning an event, please share it with them. Leave us a review on iTunes. It would make my day. And thank you for push and play today, my friend.